To get set up.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
Nothing much, nothing much. We'll just give it a couple minutes.
Okay. What's up, Katya? Got some people in here.
Awesome.
Earlier, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
How was your day?
good. It was good. It was a busy day today, so I'm just winding down, but it was good. How about yours?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, working from home, so it's like it's not really that stressful. I don't really have to move anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It was a rest day for me. I didn't really actually exercise today because
Nice.
the body needs rest as well.
Yes, of course, absolutely. All right, we'll give it another minute.
For sure.
Hey everyone that just joined, welcome to our weekly IG live. If you want, give us a wave or say hello in the chat. And we're going to get started in very, very soon. Hi, Diana.
Oh, we got some people. What's up, HapTab?
Hey, everyone. Hey, what's up? What's up? Hey, Alex. All right. We have some people now. Okay, why don't we get started? All right, welcome, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk, our weekly IG Live, where we talk about a bunch of topics related to mental health and wellness. This one is a special one because we have a special guest, and he's going to introduce himself in a minute. But if you don't know who I am, my name is Michael. I am a youth speaker and youth facilitator for YouthSpeak Performance Charity. And if you don't know what that is, it's a mental health charity based out of Toronto, and our goal is to promote mental health education, teach coping tools, and let everyone and help everyone live happy, healthy lives. So today's topic, we are going to talk about mental health and fitness, which is super important. I know it's something that I can relate to, and we're going to get into it. But before we get into it, we're just going to talk about it at a very high level. So first of all, why are we even talking about this? Because it's a coping strategy. And we're going to dive deeper into that. But exercise is super important because it's been scientifically proven to improve your mood, sleep, reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. So before we go on, DJ, go ahead and introduce yourselves. Tell everyone who you are, your background, and a little bit about you.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short, but
Okay.
Long story short, I went into kinesiology at York University to study, obviously. Kinesiology actually just means the study of movement, so this is literally in my field. But I have my own personal story of like growing up with, I wouldn't say mental health issues, but having to need coping strategies, and it all revolving around exercise. Like number one way that I coped with my stresses was lifting weights or just doing body weight exercise at home when I was younger. And actually, there's one thing that I remember learning in at York in one of the psychology courses. I think it was displacement. That's one of the defense mechanisms that we use. So it's the idea of us using all the negative energy, all the stresses, anxiety, whatever it is that's built up throughout your day, and you can put it out into your workout or put it out into something else. You, as the word suggests, displacement, putting those feelings onto something else. But in this way, it's kind of like a positive way. So like, sometimes you get angry, but you just don't want to ball it up. You can let it out in the gym. That's one of the best things that I find that exercise so therapeutic, especially lifting weights. Personally, I lift weights. I don't do really, not really into HIIT, not really into cardio. I really love lifting weights. That's my big thing.
Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So with that being said, I like weights, but I actually really like HIIT and cardio. Depends though.
Different world.
Sometimes, like I really love like a HIIT class where it's like a group fitness class, because I find like the energy of those classes, like incredible and I get a really great workout. But if I'm just running by myself, I feel like that's not really for me. And I don't feel like it does it for me. So with that being said, you all that are watching, why don't you put in the comments your favorite way to move, sweat, favorite workout, favorite way to get some exercise.
Alexander's a big HIIT guy. He likes high. You know what's funny? I actually I teach at F45, the one at Yorkdale, and it's HIIT, 45 minutes of HIIT. I loved teaching it. I don't love doing it. It's just like it's still good. Like I love the feeling afterwards, but honestly, like when I compare the two of like I don't know, I just really love lifting weights. I'm more of a like strength guy. Like I like lifting heavy.
Okay, cool.
Nice. You know, it's really hard, and then that feeling you get when you're done, that's like the thing that you chase, right?
Yes, of course. So, okay, we'll get into it a little bit more, but first, really quickly, I'm just going to talk about kind of my story briefly. Una says walking, Lolita says sports and Pilates, running and CrossFit. I know Sean's into CrossFit. HIIT is high intensity training. So actually, DJ, do you want to explain what HIIT is? You could probably explain it a little better than me.
Sure. It stands for high intensity interval training, which means that typically you would do high burst of exercises for a set period of time. Usually it's anywhere from, let's say, 20 seconds, probably maximum a minute. And then you would have a shorter rest time, let's say 30 seconds of work. And then let's say it can be anywhere from 15 seconds of rest all the way to like a minute. It really depends, but it really just means that you have a set period of time that you do really high intensity work, so all out effort, and then you have a set period of time where you're resting. You can do, well, you can literally just rest.
Yeah, and it's honestly, I love it because you can really adapt it based on fitness level. Like even if it's just something as simple as like running on the spot, like you could definitely like do that and make it into a HIIT workout, right?
It's definitely really good for class based because
Yeah,
really inclusive. So unlike if you did reps and sets with the whole class, like it can take 1 minute to finish, it could take 5 minutes to finish, right? So it's really good in a class setting.
true, yeah, because it's based on time and it's not based on reps and stuff like that. Cool.
And every effort is based off of them, right?
Yeah, love that. All right, that was a good question, Luna. So my story, really quick. I started experiencing mental health challenges when I was in high school. I noticed I used to feel down a lot, and over the years, I kind of just tried to tough it out, but that didn't really work. And then in university, I was actually diagnosed with high functioning depression, which means that you wouldn't really know that I was dealing with those things unless I told you. So the high functioning part means that I was a highly functional person doing a lot of things. So I spent a lot of energy trying to do things and trying to act happy, even though on the inside I wasn't. And I have a dog, as you can hear, so you might hear more of that. But so how that kind of relates is one of my biggest and most effective coping strategies for me was fitness. I remember like I used to be in sports and I used to try and get to the gym as much as I can or do something at home because during that time I really felt like I could be present because I'm a big overthinker, so I spend a lot of time in my head and worrying and stressing. But when I'm exercising, I find it really grounds me, so it brings me back to the moment. And then after the fact, I feel really, really good, right? I feel accomplished and all that stuff. So definitely fitness has been a big part of like my mental health journey. And at times when I know that so much stigma around towards high functioning depression. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot out there. Yeah, and honestly, people don't know about it, and yeah, it's hard. It's honestly really tough because sometimes it feels like it's really draining trying to like be there when you don't feel like being there. If that makes sense. And so when there's times that I'm really struggling, I make sure like I make getting some kind of exercise like a priority, because like I know how it works for me, and how beneficial it is like for my body and my mental health. So yeah. I know, DJ, you have a little bit of a background, a little bit of a story that you wanted to share.
Yeah, so well, I can talk about a personal story that dates back all the way back from when I was like 5 years old.
Sure.
So when I was younger, you know, at a young age, you don't really understand the fragility of life. So I would say my brother passed away. I have two brothers. So one of my brothers, he was 2 years older than me. I was 5 years old, and I was closer with the one that actually passed away. So as a 5 year old, you know, dealing with like a loved one passing away was a huge toll on my whatever developed of mental development I little had, right? So it was really hard coping with that. And I just remember at that age, you don't really even have any coping mechanism. So I just remember not even understanding like the the situation. Like you don't even understand what it was. And as I got older, that's when I kind of understood. Because like when I was younger, I actually thought that people got to like the age of 100, and then they'd start aging back.
Yeah.
I didn't even have the concept of death. Like I had no idea what that was, because you're five, you don't know, you know what's going on.
Mm.
So, anyways, as I got older, I remember like realizing, okay, what really happened, and you know my brother's not going to be here. And you know, one of the biggest things that I took that as like a wake up call, kind of like I don't even want to say that because I don't even think I was thinking of that. Right? It's something that I thought of as I got older, if that
Mm.
makes sense, because you're
Yeah,
still
yeah, for sure.
right. But yeah, the way that I coped with that is instead of thinking like, you know, this can break me, or uh, just holding on to it and just feeling sorry for myself, kind of I took that and I thought of it in a sense that what I do with my life is going to be proportional to mine and his. So if I do nothing, if I let my life go to waste,
Mm.
then that's that's how I would, or a better word to say it is, I wouldn't want my brother to just die in vain, for example, right? Like just let him pass away. So
Mm.
I took that as like I need to hold myself to a higher standard. So as I got older, I always thought about that. Like, you know, for example, um, if he had a chance to live, like this is just the way that I cope with it, and this is how
Yeah.
I push myself, right? Not everybody, but this is how I push myself. Every time, you know, I would think in my head like, what would my brother do if he was alive?
Mm.
And you know, in that way, that's like how I cope with it. So it's just perspective. It's always comes down to perspective. You can always have the same situation happen to you. It can be horrible, but you can frame it in a way that you can use it as fuel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I mean, like I think that's super important, and like I'm hearing a lot of stuff like around like mindset and like paying attention to like self-talk, like the way you talk to yourself, and it's really amazing because before I really started like doing some of that personal development, like you have no idea like the crazy stuff that you're saying inside your head until you're actually aware of it.
Mhm.
So like based on that, like what are some of the things that you do now in terms of like mindset, especially around like exercise, right? Because that's the topic of tonight, and we know that it helps when you're not feeling so great. But what if like, okay, so first of all, how would you recommend like getting that motivation to start? Because I know like it's super tough. Even me, like some days I just really don't feel like it. Like it's not there. And it's so hard now because a lot of us can't really go out, right? So like what do you like what's your experience on mindset? Like what's your advice?
My advice, if you're trying to start out and you're kind of iffy on what to do, I would say just like number one, this is what I used to do when I was a kid. I had no idea how to start. I went on YouTube. I searched up full body body weight workout. Just that's it.
Yeah.
Body workout at home. I just searched it up. There's like tons of free resources out there that can literally give you the guide. Like you don't even have to think about the workout. If you just want to get started,
Mm-hmm.
search up body weight workout 10 minutes. Just start off with something small. Don't do anything like 1 hour or 30 minutes. Just start off with like the smallest possible thing, which is like a 10-minute, even though a 5-minute HIIT workout, 5 rounds of a minute of work,
Mm-hmm.
like, a minute of rest, or 30 seconds of work, a minute of rest. Honestly, because usually what's going to happen is you're going to do that 5 minutes. You're like, oh, wow, that was good. Like, I'm already here. I'm already sweating. Why don't I just do another 5 or do another 10?
Yeah.
And once you do the 15 minutes, you're like, okay, that wasn't bad. And you actually feel good. You're like, oh, wow, that actually felt really good. And then what I recommend to you is enjoy the process, because the outcome is not as, like, we always think that the grass is always greener on the other side. So always think like, okay, if I get to this point, if I lose this much weight, if I whatever look this way, I'll be satisfied. But if you really want to do this long term, you need to start enjoying the process, like enjoying the fact that this workout is hard, and the feeling that you get after this hard workout is a sense of, fulfillment, a sense of pride. Like if you can get if you can aim for that to be your your goal, to feel that instead of like, okay, this outcome is what I'm looking for, that's how you're going to stick to it. That's how you're going to do it regardless of motivation or not. Because, like I posted recently on this, like you're not going to feel motivated all the time.
Right.
About, doing it because you know that it's good for you, and you know that it's hard. Not denying that it's going to be like, you don't deny that it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but understanding that, I find, helps people, including myself, be more um, adherent to the workout, or adherent to doing that thing, right? Understanding
Mm-hmm.
that you're doing it not because of just an outcome. It's the whole entire process, entire journey that you need to really start to enjoy.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And honestly, like I think that's super important, and you can apply that to like so many different things. Like I know, like at the beginning, right, or even when you're just having a really bad day and you're really just like not feeling it. It's like, oh man, like how am I gonna get through this hour? And you're just like dreading it. Like something that I like to ask myself, like when I'm really just, I'm at a low point, what's something I can do to get like 1% better, right? Like it
Oh,
doesn't have to be like I do the best workout of my life, but what's like one thing I can do for like 10 or 15 minutes that'll, you know, at least get me that 1%, like that
that's
little bit.
yeah, that's the key. So thinking small, like I think you're not gonna want to do it when you think of it big picture. So like, oh, I got to do 1 hour 3 times a week, every single week. Like if you think of it like that, it's like you're gonna bog you down, right? It's
Yeah.
like, I guess most people are cool. So if you look at your assignments and you look at all of your assignments stacked up, so let's say you have 10 papers due, you got 3 essays, you got blah blah blah. You think about, oh, I got to do this. You're not going to even touch it. Your brain is going to go overload. You're going to just like fall asleep because of how stressed you are. But if you think, okay, today I'm going to do this one thing, I'm going to get that off the list. You get that off the list, okay, and then next day I'm going to do this. You get that off the list. So you need to think of it in very like manageable little steps. Don't just,
Mhm.
you know, don't you can't run a marathon without any, like, don't just go run a marathon, right? You got to like do the training towards that, or do the small um distances first. You can't just go all out.
Right, right, right. Yeah, no, I think that that makes perfect sense to me. But so I want to shift a little bit now because I know you and I talked a little bit about this and we can relate. I want to talk about like exercise and mental health and confidence and how those all kind of relate. Because I've heard so many people talk to me about working out, and they just don't feel confident enough to start,
Yeah.
or right, like it's, and or maybe they don't know how, or
Well,
so. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. Um, if you're worried about what other people will think, you don't have to worry about that. Majority of people are looking for, like, people that have been lifting for a while would love to mentor. I don't know what it is about people that's been lifting. I'm not even joking. Like, I became one of those people. Like, I was scared when I was younger. I was scared of me. Like, the person that's lifting heavyweight, the person that's like, no, looks like they know exactly what they're doing. I was scared of me. Like, I became that person.
Yeah.
But if that person saw you doing something wrong, or, if you even asked them a question, they would be more than happy to help you. Like 9 out of 10 times, like people, I think everyone's just too worried about what people will think about them, when realistically they're more worried about what they're doing actually. And if they did see you doing something dangerous, they would actually help you. And I think
Mhm.
if people understand that, like, the world's not out to get you. Like, people in the gym are not out to get you all the time. At
Right.
least that's what I used to.
Yeah. I think also, I guess it's just a little intimidating too, right? If you're like brand new to that world, like not sure where to start. Um, like my advice on that would be, start with something that you enjoy or that you want to try, right? Something that you thought, oh, like it would be cool to always, I don't know, learn how to play tennis or something, right? And then go for it, and then go from there.
Mhm. I think Sean said it's like putting a puzzle piece together. I think he was referring to
Yeah, I think Sean was referring to when we were talking about like that, just that little bit, like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I think that's super important. I know for me, like after I work out, I feel really accomplished, but I also have to um, pay attention though, because sometimes when I can't get to my workout, I'm really hard on myself. Like I put myself down and like I judge myself for it, saying, I should have got into it. I shouldn't have done whatever else I I was gonna do. And I know a lot of people can relate to that. So like what advice do you have with that?
in terms of in
Like just paying attention to that, like self-talk, because obviously like that's really not helpful, right?
well, especially during these times, you have to understand that, like, we're under a lot of stress just at the fact that your whole entire life is turned upside down, right? Like, we're very habitual creatures. Like, we need our structure, and right now our entire structure is wiped out. Like, we have to
Mm-hmm.
create new ones, right? And that's like one of the most stressful things that we have to face right now. So even though you feel like you're not doing anything, you have to understand that, like, there is a lot of stress that is on you just at the fact that the whole entire world is not, not what we're used to. That alone, you know should be a little bit more lenient on yourself. Like, of course you want to try to stay fit, but try to survive at this point is like, if you're alive, that's pretty good. There's a lot of people struggling, like I can't even imagine people losing their houses, people losing obviously their jobs, people
True.
losing,
Yeah.
like, everything they own, right? And then here we are, like, of course we want to stay fit, but I think if we put it into perspective, like I always talk about, putting it into broad perspective, always big picture it, then it'll help ease that anxiety. Just putting it big picture, because if we zone in on this one thing, oh, we're not working all the time, well, okay, but you still have the roof over your head. Okay, but you're still
Yeah.
breathing, you still have food on the table, right? You still potentially have your job still. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever you zoom out, just remember, it's your frame of mind. And so that's why we always talk about mindset, because somebody can be in a worse situation than you, and can be coping with it, even better. Um, Not to compare, but I'm just saying that we need to take the time to just step back. Like, if you're really stressing about this one thing, just step back and say, okay, is this really the end of the world if I miss this one workout?
Mm-hmm.
Is this really gonna make or break my life? Is there something else I could focus that energy on? So just take a step back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and maybe you maybe that's not that wasn't the best thing for you that day. Maybe you just really needed a rest day, right? For your body to recover. Maybe you work or in your family, and you know what? It might just be the best thing for you to just take it easy that day. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, you made some really great points, right? To just be kind to yourself, be a little bit more compassionate, right? And like you're not alone because you know pretty much all of us are facing the exact same challenges. Like I know for sure I do. Like there are days when I just do not want to do anything and like binge watch Grey's Anatomy on Netflix or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
But
Um,
yeah, I would say sometimes you need that, and I think that,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, cut you
No, no,
off.
no. I was gonna say, and the other thing that you said was what was super important is you know maybe just trying to bring in a little bit more of a gratitude practice, right? Just to kind of change your mindset a little bit as opposed to like focusing on like the negative. Whereas like, okay, let's zoom out for a second. Like, look at all the other things that I'm grateful for, and look at all my other wins for the day, right? Like just because I didn't do this
Yeah.
one thing, it doesn't mean I'm a failure. Like that's one of the biggest things that I kind of learned over the years. Like I used to be really hard on myself because I used to have like this to-do list of stuff I would want to get done in a day, but like it's impossible because you know you only have a limited time and we're only human. And you know I just used to feel crappy when I couldn't get it all done.
So
But you know maybe I did like I don't know, 5 out of the 15 things. And it's like, oh man, like today was such an unproductive day. But like, hey, like look at all the stuff I did do, right? even
yeah,
if even if I did just like go on a walk with my dog, right? So
100%
reframing it too.
gratitude. Gratitude is like really. I think we as a culture, and this is goes down to I'm talking about social media. I'm talking about like movies. I'm talking about like it's ingrained in our society to focus on what we don't have because
Mm,
in my perspective, it's all about it, we always have that feeling of not having enough, not being enough, not because consumerism is what drives money, right? And this is I
mm.
go on a tangent about this, but I won't. But basically, everything in the world, in our world, in the society, is teaching us that we need this, we need to be doing this, we need to do more, we need to do more. Nothing is telling us that right where we are is good enough, or what we're doing right now is good enough. So it's really obviously it's hard to really reframe when all that's being bombarded into us is like you're not good enough because you don't have this car. You're not good enough because you don't have this whatever this and this, right?
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
we more on like gratitude, what we have, what we what we're grateful for, or what our family or our house or our health, you know.
Hmm. That you actually said something like really important. I just want to come back to it because I don't want everyone to miss it. And it was along the lines of like your why, right? Like why are you doing this? Like why are you even thinking about like incorporating fitness and exercise into your day? Because I know you and I talked about like you know, sometimes people get into it for not the best reasons. Like I know, like for me, when I started, it was just because, like you know, like I want to look a certain way. I want to look a certain way. I want to. But then the issue with that or the challenge was I used to compare myself, right, to someone who maybe looked fitter, looked the way I wanted to look, and of course, like that doesn't make me feel good, right? It makes me feel crappy about myself. So I think, and you are kind of said it is really kind of reframe, right? To go back to why you're doing it, and the reason is to make yourself feel good, right? To make you feel good. It's not to get to that get to that person, right? Or look the way that person looks, because there's always going to be that other person, right? With the
Always
next,
the other side
right? There's
change.
always going to be something else. It's like that it's like that ladder, right? As soon as you get up one, it's like, oh, there's another one, and it
Exactly.
just never stops. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying that's exactly it, right? We always think the green is grass or the grass is greener on the other.
Yeah,
Have that mentality, like what's we always think something else is better when we're not focusing on our own side of the fence, if we can say it like
yeah, for sure,
that.
for sure, for sure.
I'll say actually another method, another thing that I find very useful is you need to set up a day, like one day. It can be one day where it's for rest, like
Hmm.
6 7 days. Okay, you can do work if you want, or 5 out of 7 days. For me, I choose Saturday. I just like having Saturdays off, and that day I don't do work. Like set that time for yourself. Set that time to do, like, if you want to watch Netflix all day, like
Hmm.
watch Netflix all day. And what I think that's going to help you do actually is that it'll help you unload, and also knowing that you have a set time to do all those things that are kind of distracting you through the day. You, number one, you won't feel guilty doing it because it's motivating. It's like,
Yeah,
it's like a positive reinforcement. So if you do all your work during your let's say you work Monday to Friday, you do all your work Monday to Friday at home, and then you say, okay, Saturday I'm gonna binge watch whatever. I'm gonna play video games. I'm gonna take the day off and do whatever. And you won't.
yeah,
The thing that I find is like people feel guilty doing this because we're in that society where it's like go 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 go, right? And
yeah, yeah,
it's like we can't even enjoy the rest time. We can't even enjoy it. Like, you finish your work and you still feel like, oh, I need to be doing something. I need to be doing something.
yeah. Of course, of course.
Everything.
You feel like you have to be productive, right? So that's actually a really good point because I do that to myself a lot. So, like, yeah, I can definitely relate to that. So before Kathy's comments, because she had a couple really great ones. So what we were talking about before, she said totally give yourself a break, even if you did one thing, change clothes or shower or make yourself breakfast or make your bed. You did it, and it's good enough that you were able to care for you. Honestly, that is such an important tip, especially going back to like our main topic, when you feel like you're really challenging with your mental health, right? Like even just something small like that is a win. And but before I forget, I wanted to tell everyone that I actually have an app that helps me do this. It's called WinStreak, WIN Streak, and it's a really simple app. And I've talked about it a few times before, and it gives me a notification like at the end of the day, like at 10 p.m. And it just asks like what were your wins for the day. And you go into the app, and it's like just like a little list, and it just forces you to like take a second and like think like what were all the little like successes you had that day. And just something as simple as that I found like really helped with my mindset, especially on days when I would tell myself that I didn't do a lot or that I should have done more,
Yeah.
because that's when it really counts. And then she says that she trains with you,
Yeah,
which is awesome.
hey,
And
yeah,
that her
I'm
yeah,
working.
and that her main goal is not to get a six-pack, but is to make her body move and get those healthy chemicals running in her brain. And that is pretty much exactly why we've done this for the past half hour. So that
Yeah,
was good. Awesome. She's right on it.
yeah. Hey, and by the way, she hasn't missed a single session since we started over, I think, over 9 weeks now. Uh,
Wow,
hasn't
that's
missed-
awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome. So Kathy, I think it's Kathy, right? If you're still watching, go ahead and drop it in the comments, like your tip for like staying motivated, how you have a positive mindset, because I would really love to know, and I'm sure other people would. Um, so let's kind of just like bring it all together because we talked about a lot of different things. So first of all, we know that when we're not feeling great, we feel like we're struggling a little bit with our mental health. A really easy coping strategy that we know works is exercise and fitness. And it doesn't really matter what that is, as long as Kathy said it, as long as you're moving your body somehow, right? So I know for me, even like just taking my dog out for a walk, like for like 20 minutes, gets me outside, right? Change of environment really helps. Some days I feel like doing like a 1 hour workout, and that's great. Sometimes I don't, but that's the beauty of it, right? Like you can change it based on your needs.
And
DJ, jump in
like,
if you want.
I'm gonna say this. I have never regretted a bad workout. Like I've never done a workout and said, wow, I wish I didn't do that workout. Like I've never had that. So if you're ever having that debate in your head, oh, should I go work out? Should I go work out? I'm kind of tired. Do it, because 100, like 99.999% chance that after you do it, you're going to be glad you did it. There's like, I've never had a time in my life where I'm like, crap, I went to work out. I'm so depressed that I worked out. No, it's the opposite, right? It's usually really hard to get there. I think just get there, just show up. I think that, and that can apply to everything, but when it comes to workouts, just show up. So if it's at home, just throw on your workout gear at, like, even if you don't feel like it, just throw on your workout gear, play some of your favorite music. And honestly, like at that point, it's like you're already there, you know, like there's nothing stopping you from getting that work done.
That's right.
Will help you, you know, the less, just like, okay, this is what I always compare it to. Like, just like how businesses try to sell you on stuff, they reduce the amount of steps it takes to buy something. You know why? Because the more steps it takes to buy something, the less inclined you are to do it. Same thing with this. So the less steps you need to do to go work out, the more inclined you're going to do it. So if you already have your gym's clothes on, you already have your favorite music on, you already have your whatever workout area set, there's nothing stopping you. So you're going to be more inclined to do it, right? That's just a little psychological tip.
No, honestly, I totally get that, and I do it too. Like if I know like I want to work out tomorrow morning, I'll like pick out like my workout clothes and put it by my bed. And even if like I'm really not feeling it, like as soon as I wake up, like I'll put on my workout gear and like I'll have my breakfast in that, and I'll like be looking through my phone and I'll be like, okay, like this is my playlist I'm gonna use. And
Yeah.
even though I'm still not feeling like doing it, I may like slack around for like 20 minutes on Instagram or TikTok. But then it's like, okay, like, all right, I'm here. I got this. I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it. And which is what you also said, which is super important, is, you know what? Sometimes the hardest thing is just starting, right? Like you just got to start. Okay, let's see what Kathy says. Motivation isn't going to magically appear. It takes the small steps to get somewhere. Having a coach has really helped to keep myself accountable, but it's something you can't.
Yeah, I didn't tell her to do this.
Okay. So Kathy actually had a few really great points, right? Motivation. There you go. And I was gonna say that, Kathy, you read my mind. Sometimes we think, oh, you know what? I don't feel like it. I'll wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna feel like it. Tomorrow you're probably not gonna feel like it. Like it's just, it's just the way it works, right? Motivation doesn't really just come to you. Like sometimes you really gotta push it.
And that's why, like, we always come back to enjoying the process. So
Yes.
you know, it's really hard to stick to something when your metric for success is if this certain outcome happens. If that certain outcome doesn't happen and if you're predefined, and it's crazy. Like, I've been a coach for over 3 years, so people want to like drastically change their entire body, their entire life in like 2 months when it took them like 30 plus years to get to where they are, right? So like it's an accumulation of 30 plus years of neglecting, eating healthier, neglecting, exercising, and then they have these expectations. I'm gonna do an 8 week transformation. I'm gonna reverse all of it. Like it's not feasible. It's if
Right.
you know if your metric of success is that, of course you're not gonna do it. Of course you're not gonna stick to it. It's impossible to.
Yeah. That's not motivating at all, right? No, that's actually a really good point. And Kathy said another great one. There's lots of programs that you can do online with a friend. Yeah, for sure. Honestly, there's a lot of like studios, classes, trainers like DJ doing a lot of online stuff. And I'll get DJ to tell you about a couple of things that he's been doing soon. Or yeah, just like talk to a friend and be like, hey, like I really need some motivation. Can we set a time to like do something over Zoom or do something outside, right? You can get creative with it for sure.
Yeah, and I like what Hammy said.
Hammy said, yeah.
Yeah, what was your name?
Hammy.
Hammy, yeah. So, reason to do something, the stronger that reason, the longer that motivation lasts. Yeah, so I agree with that. So
Mm.
you need to, whenever
Okay.
you do something, you need
Yes.
to always go back to, you got to go back to your why. Because
Yes.
again, we all know that motivation is not going to always be with us, but what should be driving you is your reason for why, right? Like some people, and I think people, you need to keep mindful about what you say your reason is versus what your actual reason is, because I don't think,
Mhm.
if you peel back a couple layers, this is what the onion analogy, you need to peel back. So you say your reason is to look good. Okay, so why do you want to look good?
Yeah.
Well, somebody told you that you're unappealing or you're blah blah blah. Okay, so why did that person say that, and why does that person have that effect on you? And then you could peel that back. You can go really deep into yourself and really be like, okay, well, actually, my whole life I never felt like I was enough. Okay, why didn't you feel like that? And then you can peel back those layers, and the deeper you go, and it's kind of like, this is just the truth. The more the deeper the cut is, the more compelling the drive. So like, the more it hurts, the more reason it is for you to stick to that, right? If your reason's just on the superficial layer of like, I just want to look good. Okay, I just want to look good is not going to drive you when there's snow outside, it's a snowstorm, and you know what I mean? It's just, take a second to really look towards what is the real reason why? What is the real reason why?
Yeah. That's deep. That's deep. Yeah, we I could definitely talk about this for like a couple hours,
Yeah.
but yeah, for sure, right? Like really get down to your why and make it a strong why too. So on those days when you really don't feel like it, you can go back to that why and remind yourself like why you're doing it, right? And why you're doing it for you. So
Mhm.
that's a really important one. Okay, so we know that exercise helps. We got back down to our why. So now to get started, um, yeah, lots of our speakers are here tonight. So thank you, everyone. And to get started, find something small that you enjoy doing on YouTube. Tons of stuff there. Get friends to help you, and really set yourself up for success, right? And I know DJ's been doing a lot of great stuff online. So do you want to just take a couple minutes to tell everyone like how you've been kind of helping people during this time when we can't really go out and do much?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm joined on you with my fitness account already. So if you guys
There you go.
did, you can check it out at Nomadic Fitness. But yeah, I post like meals, I post workouts, I post tips on, on just about everything related to fitness. Um, and also, if you guys are interested in any type of online coaching or programs, you can check out my website at nomadicfit.com, or just shoot me a message. I mean, when I started, honestly, I never got a program. I just, like, honestly, I looked online. It's
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and you know what? When you're beginning, honestly, when you're beginning, you're gonna get results pretty, I would say, easier versus somebody that's been doing it for a while,
Yeah.
just because of the fact that you're just adding a whole new lifestyle into your body. Your body's like literally going from, let's say you're, sitting most of the time, you're sedentary, then you add 3 times a week of any exercise, you're gonna get some benefits. Like, just start off with anything. It's gonna help.
Nice. Yeah, love that. Love that. And I definitely recommend to give Nomadic Fitness a follow because, like, to be honest, DJ and I have actually never met,
Yeah,
but
it's
I came across his account
Instagram,
like
social media.
up,
Yeah.
yeah, like a long time ago, and like he puts out a lot of like great positive stuff, and so we just started talking over that. So kind of funny how that works out. So
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, a lot of great stuff. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. So um, I think what I'm gonna do now, honestly, is I'm gonna probably finish up, do a little workout to kind of end my day, and then
Should
yeah.
should we
So
ask if anybody has any final questions, or
yeah, for sure. If anyone has any final questions, go ahead and shoot it off in the chat as we're kind of finishing up. But if you're just kind of tuning in, at the end, we talked a lot about fitness and mental health benefits. What are some ways you can start incorporating that, and some strategies to kind of work on your mindset, motivation, and how that'll ultimately, help you get to where you want to go. But thanks so much for joining, everyone, and thanks, DJ. Like this, I thought this was like really awesome, and it was nice because it's a little bit different from like the lives that we normally do. So I think it added a lot of value. So I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I guess I'll talk to you soon.
All right, all right.
Okay.
Have a good one. Yeah, and the recording is going to be available. I'm going to post it right now. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. Thanks, DJ.
Yeah, take care. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.